need you to get me out again, God. I'm locked up behind these walls again, God. I got these chains, I'm shackled from my hands to my feet. If you get me out this one more time, God, I promise. Broken to redemption. Yeah. Can't nobody tell me nothing, man. But now I'm bound.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of Broken to Redemption podcast. I have my boy Frank from Northern California going to come on, share his experience and how Jesus Christ changed his life. So let's go ahead and bring him in. Frank, what up?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right, man. Just surviving.
Yep. That's all we can do.
Yep,
So,
that's for sure.
You want to tell us where you're from?
I'm from Placerville, California. It's kind of about an hour outside of Tahoe, about halfway between Sacramento and Tahoe.
Okay. And how long do you have clean?
I've been clean now for 5.5, almost 6 months.
Nice. Good start right there.
I've alcohol and drugs, man. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's been good.
So go ahead and give us a little rundown. How your life was like, how you got into all of that.
Well, shoot, I love to drink and party. Ever since I was like a young kid, I always looked a lot older than everybody. So I was the one that was going to the liquor store and buying all the beer, buying the kegs. But my favorite thing was drinking and cocaine, like being honest. I mean, it sounds silly, but like I always thought, man, cocaine has the better looking girls and everything. And I thought everything was going to be way cooler.
Yeah.
But oh boy, did it take control and shoot from like, I don't know, 17, 18 to my early 20s. I was an 18 pack a night and an 8-ball every weekend. So it started, pretty much there. And then I got married at like, 25 or 26 years old or something like that. And kind of still drank a lot. My ex-wife drank. That was kind of a big problem with us in the beginning there. But I always kept my cocaine use very secret to her because she had issues with her family and I didn't want to let that be known. But oh boy, did it catch up with me later. But
so when did you start using? Like, when did you start drinking?
Drinking real heavily. I probably had my first drink when I was 13 or 14. My mom busted me down at the apartments down the road, drinking Miller High Life 32s with a bunch of buddies. And then just kind of a little bit here and there. And then once I got to the point where I can buy it every day or buy it with the friends, it was an everyday thing. And man, it was, people go, man, you drink, man, you can drink. I'm like, yeah, but I was conditioned. I drink a lot. It was pretty,
So did you just think you were having fun, or did you already know that it was going to be a problem?
I thought I was just having fun because that's what everyone was doing, like the people in the apartment complex that was next to the house, they all drank. All the older dudes drank. Even my little brother was drinking. So it was kind of a thing.
And did your mom find out that you were drinking all the time?
I think she knew at a certain point, but she didn't I don't know how to say, she really didn't harp on me to stop or you really shouldn't be doing this all the time. She said a couple things, but yeah, my parents drank too. So it was kind of hard probably for them to say no when they were doing it.
So how was the childhood growing up? Was it like normal childhood?
It was pretty normal, actually. Mom and dad are still married. They live, right now they're living in Fort Bragg, but pretty normal childhood. Dad went to work every day. Mom had a job. But with it kind of being normal, we had a lot of freedoms. I can leave the house whenever I wanted to. I can come home back whenever I wanted to. There wasn't really a close rein on what we did.
And did you grow up believing in God?
I did. My mom, she always believed in God. when I was a little kid, as far as back as I can remember. My dad was involved with the homeless ministry when I was younger in Sacramento. And so I kind of always had that knowledge of God and what he's done and all that stuff. And then as we got older, that wasn't so much important anymore.
So what did your faith look like in early years?
It didn't look like anything, to tell you the truth. I went to church with my mom and dad because that's what they did. But as in like walking with God and like doing what he wanted us to do, not at all. Because I was leaving church and going hanging out with the buddies and drinking and smoking weed because that was my favorite thing to do.
So did you see any signs from childhood that hinted at the path you'd eventually take, or did it all stream from the drinking and having fun?
I saw things because of what my dad was when he was doing the homeless thing and kind of seeing these people that were getting to drugs and alcohol, but I never thought, honestly, it could ever happen to me. You know, like, oh, that's them. That's them because they're homeless, or that's them because they're doing hard stuff. But man, I was knocking on the door.
I think we all think that. Like, whenever I started doing drugs and hanging out with all these people and I'd see them slamming, I used to think it was gross, right? Like, oh, that's disgusting, and I'll never do that. I will never go that low. Years later, I was living that low, you know?
Yep.
And I don't think that none of us plan to get that way. It just happens. Some of us quick, some of us slower.
Yep. I completely agree, because you don't know, it hits you like that.
Yeah.
It's super quick. And I'm thankful I never jammed anything in my arm or nothing like that. But man, it could have been that way especially if the people I was hanging out with were doing those kind of things. And you know, like, thank God, man, I didn't get that. I didn't turn down that way, because I've seen what that happens, man. It's no bueno.
So I was out doing homeless outreach on Friday, and there's this pastor that goes out there and hangs with us and does what we do. And he asked me, when did addiction start for you? When did you take your first drink or your first hit off a drug? And I told him, to be honest with you, addiction takes place long before you take that first hit or that first drink, right? He says, well, what do you mean? And I said, there's always a core issue involved on why you turn to those things later on in life. And I said, for me, it was abandonment and the feeling of always wanting to be accepted by anybody, right? I said, I stole money from my grandmother to buy the cool clothes that all these kids had, thinking I was going to be cool. It never happened. I got into juvenile hall, seeing what they really do, drinking, smoking weed. And I wanted to do it because that's what they were doing, and I wanted to be accepted. So addiction doesn't necessarily take place from the moment you take the first drink or the first hit, right? There's always a core issue on why you did it, right?
Yeah,
that's what I think.
I completely agree. I completely agree, especially with your surroundings and what's going on, you know?
Yeah. What did alcohol and weed do for you emotionally at that time?
Let me escape. Like, I got an anger issue big time, and it's always been that way. Alcohol, it was weird. I was never a mean drunk. I hit to a certain point, and I'd get violent and do some things. We'll probably talk about it in a little bit, but the weed kind of calmed me down. I thought, you know, it makes me calm, makes me handle stress or whatever like that. But it was just numbing me to the fact where I wasn't processing and actually taking care of the issues at hand. That's eventually what it came down to. And then adding cocaine to it, oh man, once I got my first nose full of that, it was on.
And then when you first did cocaine, it was just like the drinking, right? Casual, having fun.
Yep. So it was casual, having fun, more or less. Just, hey, when the boys are around, we're hanging out. Oh, you want to bump? You want to bump? And then the next, it turned into, hey, let me give it a couple grams. Hey, let me get an 8-ball. And it was a constant door revolver into where, man, it was all the time and not good.
So it went from casual use and it started shifting in dependency.
Yep.
When did
Big
that
time.
happen? When did you start to notice, like when you started buying more instead of just getting a gram here and there?
When I started buying more, I was like 22, 21, 22 years old. It was like you said, it was like a more or less an every weekend kind of thing. Hey, bro, you got one? You got one? You got them? And then it turned into, hey, no, you got some. Like, I need some. And then I was hiding it. And I figured, because I was on felony probation for years, hey, man, this stuff's out of my system in 3 days. And that was my whole excuse. I know when I got to pee. I know when I got to see dude. So I'll do this. And it was just turning me into a life and a cycle that was not good.
And were you on probation for that arrest at 19?
I was on probation. No, I was on probation for the arrest. I think I was 20 years old. 20 years old. I caught a felony case in Placerville. And yeah,
that wasn't the first run-in with the law, though.
No, that wasn't the first run-in with the law. I got my DUI, I think 19 years old. That was the first time I went to jail. It's kind of a messed up story, kind of a blessing in disguise, really, because I was driving someone else's truck and got a DUI in his truck, and kind of, man, I can't be doing this kind of thing, like, thank God I got a DUI when I did, because I could have killed someone. As much as I drank and as much as I don't remember of those things, it kind of was maybe God's like, hey, it's time for you to stop this kind of driving kind of thing.
So how did that DUI experience shape your attitude towards drinking and risk afterward?
Really, it took me a while to come to terms with, man, you got to shape up a little bit. Even when I got my DUI, I got out of jail, and the first thing I went and did was drink, and the second thing I wanted to do was drive. And it was like I got in my truck, I got in my car, and I was driving around the neighborhood just because I wanted to. And something said to me, man, go park your vehicle, get out of your vehicle. You don't need to be doing this no more. And I still drink and drive, periodically through the years. But yeah, man, it was kind of that rude awakening, and more happened later in life too, especially after the whole divorce thing process and everything like that. That's when it got a lot worse.
Okay. So what about cocaine grabbed you in a way other substances didn't?
I felt like I was Rin Tin Tin. I was on top of the world. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. I felt like I was untouchable. But in reality, man, people were looking at me like, there's something's different with this dude. And I was just, no, yeah, I'm more energy. I'm losing weight. I feel more accepted in some areas. Yeah, it was a rude awakening.
Did your family notice you were losing weight or the way you were acting?
My parents live so far away, they kind of only see me here and there. Okay. And they're right now, they're probably learning about some things that I haven't really been fully 100 on. But I would hit the gym all the time, but at the same time, I was doing a bunch of dope. And my brother had an issue with dope. He's been in prison for, I think he's in a 10-year stretch right now. He gets out this next year.
Oh, nice.
That's one of his, methamphetamine is his deal. And so, like, as long as I'm not doing that, mom and dad will never know. But it was always, my dad asked me recently, it was about, I don't know, 8-9 months ago, are you clean? And I felt like the biggest pile, because I just straight lied to his face. Oh yeah, I'm good, Dad. I'm just working out every day. Well, he didn't know what I had in my pocket.
Yeah. I use that excuse when I got out of prison, and I was more sucked up when I got out than when I went in. My wife was like, why are you so skinny? Oh, I did a lot of burpees and did all of this. She knew I was lying,
Yep. And I think he knew I was lying too, because he kind of just looked at me. All right, and we're like best friends, so it's kind of one of those. It sucked to sit there and lie to his face and
Right.
know he knew I was lying.
Right. At least you had a conscience about it. Some people don't. Like when people would ask me, like family, no, I didn't feel bad whatsoever. Now I do, right? Because now I have a heart. But back then, like hurry up and stop talking to me so I can go get high. That's how it was.
Yep.
Like I gotta leave so I can go get high.
Yep.
So what did a typical day look like for you at your lowest, mentally, physically, and spiritually?
My lowest. So I was couch surfing and wondering why, crying every day. Why is it happening to me? Depressed. Oh my God. Like I can hide it pretty good. Like I was hiding it really well, but the people that knew me I was crumbling. And then like with the alcohol thing and the smoking weed thing, I was using that every day to like forget about it. I'd go to work. I never had a problem with going to work. That was one thing that I always thought that, hey, I'm good. I'm going to work. I'm waking up at 3 a.m. Yeah, the first thing I did was a line. And then the second thing I did was smoke a joint. And the third thing I did was smoke a joint. And then I'd even get in the work truck and I'd smoke a joint. So the trying to mask everything and using all those substances. And as soon as I got off work, let's go get a 12-pack. Let's go down to the river. Let's go sit at the river, have a 12-pack, forget about it until the point where I'm ready to go home and go to bed. And I didn't really, it took me a while to realize the depression factor how really broken I was, because I was so numb to it all and so numb to feelings that once I got back to going to church and that whole experience of what took me back there, I finally realized, oh my gosh, like you're a broken individual, dude. Like you're hurting on the inside. And I've had thoughts of, ending it. What can I do to just disappear? I always used to joke about it. Well, like people joke normally, but deep down inside, some of those jokes are true. And I just want to disappear. I want no one to know where I'm at. I don't want no one to know where I'm being. And it realized, man, you're actually just telling people exactly what you want. And for some people kind of look at me funny, like, man, why do you say that? Well, I'm just, it's a joke. I'm just playing around. But man, dude, there were days where I'd just cry alone, sitting in my room. Oh boy, hurting.
And that was before you got married?
That was after I got married. I was actually, the drinking, the drug use was so shallow, it was so low, or I thought it was so low that I didn't think anything was wrong. And once I ruined a family and I saw the way that my kids looked at me, what I did to someone that, yeah, granted, we didn't get along all the time. We didn't have the best relationship. But once I saw that hurt I was causing other people, oh man, it got so bad.
So what age did you get married?
24, 25, somewhere in there.
Did she know that you partied, or did you kind of hide it?
She knew I drank like a fish.
Okay.
But she didn't know I was doing cocaine. I told her, like, I quit before I met you, but she had no idea I still had a bag of dope in my golf bag.
So
why was she go in my golf bag?
Yeah. What? When you got married, did you tone it down a little bit, or were you still going full pull?
I toned it down a little bit. I toned down the drinking. I still drank. I thought that maybe because I'm not drinking an 18-pack a night, I'm doing better. And I'm not, maybe not going through an 8-ball every 3 days or every 4 days. I'm doing better. But yeah, I still played around and smoked weed. I mean, that's one thing I never slowed down with, was just smoking weed, because it's so accepted in Northern California.
Right. Of
It's
course.
legal. It's
Yeah.
medicinal.
Yeah.
So that never stopped.
Did she have a problem with the weed and a little bit of drinking?
She had a problem with drinking big time. She was a raging alcoholic, to the point to where she quit drinking.
Okay.
Yeah, but she still smoked weed all the time, and she probably still does now.
Yeah, it's Northern California.
Yeah,
Northern California.
Well, and that was another thing, I grew it.
Okay.
So, I mean, I always had 10 plants. I was always striving to get the 2 pounds of plant, and that was my thing. I loved it, and that plant, man, destroyed me.
You mentioned depression, right? Hitting hard. How did it show up in your daily life?
When I would sit there and go walk away just to cry. Go sit in my truck. The guys at work used to tease me. Oh, there's Frank's going on his little walk. Well, yeah, man, I was hurting. And the only way I didn't want people to see we're strong dudes, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want guys at work seeing us breaking down.
Right.
And so I would always say, I'm going to go for a walk and clear my head. But it was more or less, man, I'm hurting, and I don't know how to control it.
And so at that point, when you were depressed, did you use more cocaine, more booze, more weed?
Oh, yes.
And did it fill the depression? Did it make it feel better, or was it just making it worse?
I thought it was making it better because my focus was on something else. But at the end of the day, it was adding to the depression. It was adding to that feeling low, because I knew inside, man, you shouldn't be doing this. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're just a pile of crap. You're going to go turn around and you're going to go lie to everybody because of the way it makes you think you feel. And so, yeah, it was not good. But at the time doing it, I thought I was doing what I needed to do.
So what were the moments when you truly realized you weren't the person you wanted to be?
The moment I realized the person I wasn't wanting to be, I was doing laundry. And I got back into this house, and I told you earlier, all my stuff was stolen. So there was no washer and dryer here. So I would go to the laundromat, and I like to people watch. I was kind of weird, go to the fair, sit down and watch people. So the laundromat, to me, I'd go sit there and just watch people. And I'm doing my laundry and I'm watching that thing spin. And it was kind of that, man, this is what you're doing. Your life is that laundry machine. You're just spinning. And I broke down. I started bawling in the middle of this laundromat. I started crying. But in the middle of this laundromat, I get up and I walk to my truck. And I say, you need to go, I think you need to go to church. What? No, Frank, that's not what you want to do. Yeah, it's what you need to do. So I got in my truck, got done with laundry, threw everything in there, and I got enough time to make it to church. I know what time Solid Rock starts. So for some reason, I get in my truck and I'm driving there, and I get off the freeway, and I was, is this really what you want to be doing? Yeah, I think this is what I need to be doing. And I pull into church, and the pastor sees me, and we have a good relationship. We knew each other for a long time, and he was an older gentleman, and I'd always go help my dad plumb at his church. If they needed, they built like an expansion of their sanctuary and the new bathrooms and a bunch of stuff. So he would always lean on me. Hey, Frankie, you just need to come to church. You need to quit smoking that stuff. You need to come back to church. So I knew that he would accept me. He knew me, so I kind of felt safe. And so I pulled in, and it flipped my whole world. bro, I haven't been the same. And I walked in and I saw him crying because he saw me. And man, I sat there in service and cried for 3 days. Every church service on Sunday, I would just sit there and cry the whole time. And
that was a day God took control of your life right there.
Right then and there, like he started working on me. Like I would still go home and I would still smoke a bunch of weed, and I would still go to the river and drink alcohol, and I still had bags of cocaine. So I thought, hey, I need to get rid of this stuff. And about a month into going to church, I woke up. I had this dream. I quit the cocaine about 3 weeks after I started going to church because he was leaning on me. And I was still drinking. I was still smoking weed. And I had this dream. And I've told some people about this. I'm kind of getting more comfortable with telling people things just about my personal stuff and some deep down secrets. And everyone's getting to know now. But but I had this dream, and I'm laying in bed, and I'm awake, but I'm dreaming kind of thing, and I'm surrounded by people. And it wasn't like angels where it was like halos and wings and all these sounds and stuff, but they were standing there surrounding me in these robes. And this figure came over the top of me and got down to my face. And I knew who it was. I knew what he was, and it was Jesus. And I felt this like a defibrillator, you know what I'm saying? Like that feeling of shock.
Yeah.
Wham! And it hit me in my chest to the point to where I woke up. And I lived by myself in this empty ass house, and I'm praying. And I don't know what you believe in, but I believe in the tongues, and that the Spirit of the Holy Spirit. And out of a dead sleep, I'm speaking in tongues, and man, my life has been filled with that ever since. Like I went outside, I had all this weed and everything, and I went out to my trash can, and I, like a crazy man, I sat out there and I prayed, Lord, take this from me. I don't want this no more. This is not who I am. You've shown yourself to me to be real. And I dropped all that day. And I've never felt better. Like, and it sounds crazy. A lot of people say they fight with those urges and things. Man, I haven't had that urge, or the want to, or the pull into the dispensary and get myself a bag, or man, I'm feeling bad about myself right now, And over the months, it's finally all worked out of my system, and the alcohol has been gone for so long now that I've never felt better, dude. And it's like things I told you earlier, like my house, like I've been able to release everything to God, because that's what he says, right? Like in the Bible, you ask and you shall receive.
Right.
You ask for, that you hand it all to God and watch him do what he's going to do in your life. And I thought my mom, when she would say those things to me, like, Mom, hey, whatever, Mom. I used to get hecka mad at her. Mom, stop it with that. Like, stop. I don't want to hear that no more. Like, stop it. But to actually do it and see the fruits of it,
right,
bro, it's been amazing.
Amen. Amen to that. So you don't even have the urges anymore. No,
I don't. I don't have the urges, and it's weird because I still hang out with some people, and I've been ministering to them. Hey, man, this is what they tell me. Now you're a different cat. Like from the person you were not too long ago to the cat you are now. I mean, what's going on? What happened to you? And I just straight up tell them, like, I let God take control of my life. I let him be the author of what I'm doing every day. Because I realize, man, I can't do it on my own.
Right.
We can't do it on our own. As alcoholics or drug addicts, we have that dependency on something that we always lean to And I realized, man, you just need to lean to God. He's the ultimate fix, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're struggling, get in your Bible. If you're struggling, make a phone call, dude. It's okay.
Yep.
It's all right. And it's been a ride. Nothing's perfect, right? You know what I'm saying? Nothing's peaches and cream and sunshine and rainbows all day long. I still have, hard days.
Of course.
But those
Everybody
hard
does.
days are, you're right. Those hard days are now I lean on God, man, because I was crumbling.
So what were the hardest parts of rebuilding? Trust, habits, relationships, your identity?
The toughest part with kind of moving forward was forgiveness. A lot of my depression and hate for myself is because of what I caused for myself. And learning how to look in the mirror and know I'm a changed dude. And that Frank Garcia he's behind me. And if I'm going to live like that, I need to forgive myself. And that was the first thing I had to do was forgive myself for the decisions I made. Like a lot of it, like I told you, was, I ruined a family. Cheating on my wife. I had a little girl that's 15 years old that looked to me as like her everything. And to see the disappointment in her eyes, it was hard.
Right.
Real hard.
So what have you learned about yourself now that you couldn't see back then?
I thought I was perfect. I'm super flawed. I realized that I'm a soft, I'm a gentle dude at heart. I have a caring personality. Like I'm crying right now just thinking about it. And I didn't have to be so tough and that's probably the one thing I've learned, that I was just I guess a teddy bear maybe in the sense of the words, but I wasn't as tough as I thought I was.
How do you stay grounded and accountable today?
I stay grounded and accountable by the people I associate with, and knowing that when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is pray. It sounds kind of cliche. A lot of people say those things, but I might not be the first thing I do, like eyes opening up, but I get up and make my cup of coffee. Normally that's the first thing I do, right? Because I love me some coffee. But I sit there and I make my coffee and I sit there and just pray, like, hey, Lord, help me today. Help guide my hands, guide what I do. Because without you, I'm nothing. With you, I'm everything. And then I also, there's some people that I talk to. There's a couple pastors that I reach out to here and there. There's some brothers in the Bible study that I attend to. And then my mom and my dad are really, now for the last 10, 15 years, their faith is super strong. And they've both quit drinking. They've both quit, smoking weed and all that stuff. And so I lean on my mom a lot for strength, because she's your mom, you know what I'm saying? You need that kind of thing. I'm still blessed to have them. But the accountability with a lot of the brothers in church, because I know that they've gone through a lot of the same things that I went through.
Okay.
And maybe not all of them have done drugs and all that, but they all have had experiences where I've tried to listen and see maybe, this whole God thing is real, and lean on him, basically, pretty much is what it is.
What would you say to someone who is where you once were, lost, addicted, and feeling unworthy?
First, I would say you'd have to come to terms with it and understand fully that your life is not going to be where your life isn't where it should be. Get to church, however way that is. Reach out to someone that you know that is involved, because there's a lot of Christians out there that say they're involved and say they believe in God, but they're doing what I was doing, is leaving church and going to smoke a weed, going to drinking a beer, going to doing these things, and finding someone that you can really lean on, and then get to church and actually be ready for change. Because I don't think anyone's going to stop doing what they're doing unless they're actually ready for it.
Right. Yeah, of course. It's just like the saying, you can't help somebody that doesn't want to help.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. Until you're ready, there's nothing nobody can do or say until you're ready.
Yeah. And for me, it was weird taking that small step into walking into church. And
something God pulled you to church that day.
Yeah.
It was your time.
I was done, because I think the rate I was going with what I was doing, I was going to end up killing myself. Not necessarily get a gun and end it all, but I was going to do enough dope to where I was going to have a heart attack.
Right.
I was going to drink a lot to where I was going to get in a car accident and maybe kill someone or kill myself. Or jumping in that river and having to swim and I'd never get back up out of the water because I was messed up. But
well, it's just like Jamin, he wanted to go eat at that diner and there was just cops there, right?
Yep.
That wasn't just us, that was God pulling us there.
Yep.
Like, we've all been in those positions where it's like, I know I don't want to go there, but you know what? Something's pulling me over this way, so I'm going to go this way.
Yep. And like I was telling you earlier, seeing him on job sites and watching what he was doing, man, he's a big influence on me. And seeing how he's changed his life, and he's still jamming, you know what I mean? He's still funny. We still laugh and joke, and we still do all that stuff. But just to see what God's done with him, knowing, shoot, if this brother can do it,
anybody can do it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he's a big influence on me. He probably doesn't know it so much. I tell him here and there, brother, I look up to you. But I really do. He's a solid individual, man. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Yeah, from where he was to what he is now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what about your time with the CPM and the initiation process?
Oh, that's so funny. Oh man, CPM. Those little group in Placerville, we joke about it, Jamin and I, on the job site. It was my birthday one day, and I get it to my office and I open the door, but he's got this little birthday card on the happy birthday from CPM, the member of 2, because I'm the member of 1. Oh, we joke about it all the time. Make up different stories about what the initiation process is. You got to do cartwheels down the road naked. You got to run down Placerville and do crazy things. But we tease, because there was a group of people out there that really thought, Central Placerville Mafia was the thing. And we used it as a joke between us, because honestly, it was probably the dumbest thing we've ever heard in our life. And a lot of those dudes are either dead, in prison, or just strung out, and you lose contact with a bunch of those people. But
right,
yeah, it was that's funny.
Yeah, got any questions for me?
What brought you to do this podcast? Because honestly, bro, it's like when I tell people about it, it's like I know it's reaching people. I've watched some of your episodes and it's awesome. So what actually brought you to do this?
So initially, I'm an inspirational speaker, right? I go around rehabs. It's all rehabs right now, right? I'm trying to get into schools and I'm trying to grow, right?
Yeah.
I work a full-time job, so I can't always make it to these places where they want me to speak, right? Because I do it out of the kindness of my heart, right? I'm not getting paid for it. And unfortunately, my bills come first, right? I have a family and I have to support them. So I was in Palm Springs one day with my wife on a little mini staycation, and we're laying by the pool, and it popped into my head, podcast. And when that popped into my head, I was like, wait a minute, I don't know anything about these things, right? And then
Yeah.
right then and there, I went on Spotify creators. I created my logo again, right? I just put the podcast under the bottom, and I just started networking on TikTok, finding people. And because I figure I can do this and still reach people to try to help them, right? And
Yeah.
on top of that, like my speaking, I finally have a regular position at a rehab that I go to, and it's just like I always want to take control of the situation and try to do all this and that, but I have to remember that it's not my plan, it's God's plan,
Yep.
right? So whatever he wants me to do, he'll let me do, right? Like use me as a vessel, right? Like I am
Yep.
here, send me. And like there's so many plans that I have with this, and I want to start a nonprofit and do all this and open a center. And I'm getting ahead of myself because you need a lot of capital, you need a lot of this and a lot of that, right?
Yep.
So I just learned to sit back and let God do it. And if he's having me do these podcasts for a while, he's having me do these podcasts for a while, and I'm gonna take these podcasts and I'm gonna hopefully change somebody listening to these. That's why I go live. That's why I'm different from all the other ones. They don't stream live. But what are the chances of somebody scrolling through YouTube right now that are going through something and they see this podcast and they stop and it catches their attention, and who knows, they
Yep.
can say, you know what, this is it. I am finished and I want the help.
Yep. And I think that's what's awesome, man. Is you're out there planting seeds. Like that's what ultimately God wants us to do, is get out there and plant that seed. And if
That's it.
someone hears it, they might get another watering from another cat down the road. They might go to church and get water from that cat. But ultimately, we're trying to plant seeds for a harvest for God in the kingdom.
Right.
And that's really awesome. That's really awesome. That's cool that you do the outreach thing and go to talk to those guys. I mean, and gals, because man, I work downtown in Sacramento every day, and seeing some of the homeless people and some of those people broken, man, it's like, dang, they
Right.
just need someone to love on them,
Right.
and give them that like sense of hope.
Right. Like
That's
I have
awesome.
my garage right now is filled with clothing donations,
That's awesome.
blankets, women's, men's, and I still have more stuff I got to go pick up this week. Like initially I was going to pass everything out Thanksgiving, right? But it's getting cold down here. Like Friday I went and everybody was asking for jackets and blankets, and my wife saw, we can't hold this stuff. Like they need it now. Let's give it to them now. So
Yeah.
next week we're going to go pass it out. I'm going to cook them burgers, and just try to plant those seeds.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. That I think as Christians, that's probably our biggest task.
Right.
Guys like us, you, Jamin, and gals too, man, we reach such a different demographic of people and such a different background of people that they'll listen to us. They won't listen to the handsome looking dude in a suit and a tie.
No.
Typically, they're going to listen to cats and gals that look like us,
Yeah,
that have been
absolutely.
through those things.
And it's, you also have to look at it, when Jesus was around here on earth, right? Who did he go up to? He
Right.
didn't go up to the saints. He didn't go up to all these perfect people. He went to the misfits, the people that were broken, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the same thing that we need to do, right? I mean, granted, there's people that are successful that are still struggle, and maybe they need to know Jesus, right? But
Yeah.
like, let's bring more people into the kingdom of God, right? Let's bring the broken people to God.
Yeah. That's that whole prodigal son thing we talk about in church. So the pastor talks about it. Be ready because the prodigals are coming home, and be accepted and willing to open your arms and your hearts to these people, because and it's true. I mean, if it's just seeing what you're doing and like what Jamin's doing, man, you guys are reaching so many different people that's that seeds being planted, and they're going to walk into a church one day, and they're going to want to be, not since rescued might not be the right word, but just helped and loved on.
And you know, the funny thing, this Friday we selected a new location, right? Because where we were going before, there was a Food for Less there, and it closed down. And so, like, the sheriffs would come through and roll everybody out, arrest people. So we went to this new spot. Like, my buddy organizes it, like finds the places, right? I jumped on his bandwagon, right? He was doing this. He invited me, and before I would do that with my AA group, right? When I attended AA, we would go buy like $100 worth of tacos and $100 worth of burgers, socks, waters, and go pass them out. I got really ungrateful at a certain point in my life when I got sober, like probably when I had maybe 2-3 years of sobriety, right? I got really, I don't know what the word for it, right? Maybe, I don't know, my ego kicked in. And I used to say, why am I going to go out there and give these guys this? They have everything they want. They want to be out on that street, right? There's so many resources, but yet they continue to stay out here in the streets. Okay.
Yep.
That's not that idea is not Christ-like at all. Right. And I got really in tune with Jesus. Maybe like I've always believed there's a God. I always believed in Jesus Christ. It's like those memes on you see on social media. Do you believe in God or do you follow God? Right. And the path is always more on the side that they believe. Right. I was one of those people. Right. And I'm not saying today that I'm a perfect follower and I'm just a great, right, all around. Nobody is. But when I decided to get closer to Jesus within the last 6-7 months, right? One, I hated going to church. My wife would always say, can we go to church? And I used to say, I don't believe in organized religion, right? All those pastors there, all they want is their money, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was missing something, okay? And then one day I told her, let's go to church. And we went to this one church. And then after the service was done, I told her, can we go back again? And her face was like, what? And I said, yeah, can we go back again? From that point on is when I really dug my feet into Jesus, right?
Yeah.
And I tried. So this time around when my buddy invited me to go do the homeless outreach, and I said, you know what? Yes, let's do this, right? So we moved to a new location this last Friday. And as soon as I pulled in the parking lot, it's in the parking lot. It's called the Potter something. And it's a Christian Fellowship Center, right?
Yeah.
So we all set up and I start giving out Narcan and little snacks that I bring for them. And the pastor comes out. And there's a whole medical team there, like an ambulance that'll help them with their wounds, abscesses, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Tries to get them resources as well. The pastor came out and was talking to us and he says, yes, I really love that you guys are here. I always feed them. And he says, you guys are in a Christian parking lot right now. And he says, what are the chances of you coming here? Because initially we went to an address and it was a beauty salon. We had no idea that there was a Christian Fellowship Center right there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So ever since then, like my ego's out the way with that. Like, no, these people need help and they need stuff, no matter if they choose to be out there or not, right? Because we're out there to plant the seeds, nothing like, and to give them food, clothing, right? Because it's rough out there, right? But if we make them feel like a human being from the time that we are there and we continue to come back, maybe somebody's going to come up to us and say, hey, I'm ready for the help.
Yeah.
What can you please help me? And I will 100% throw you in my car right there and take you to this detox. I got to get you drunk at first, but you can stay there for 10 days and then we can figure out what to do with you after.
Yep. That's awesome. That's way awesome. Yeah. When you asked me to make this video, last week or this last weekend or whatever it was, I posted it on my Facebook page. And, I've had some people reach out to me that I never thought would. Hey, brother, I've been watching you, and I just appreciate your honesty and what you're talking about, because is this God thing real? And I tell them, man, it's absolutely real. I was telling you earlier before this thing started in my house, and cheated on my wife and ended up leaving, walked out of this family. she didn't pay my mortgage for 16 months, and I was going to lose my home, and my mom always told me one of the things, release it to God. Okay, I'll do that. So I'd get out there every morning at 3 a.m. before I'd get in my pickup truck and drive to Sacramento. And I'd lift my hands and talk out loud. Dear Lord, if this is what you want, and if this is your will, let it happen. Because us as humans, we can't control anything. And we think we can. We can control how we drive, and we can control where we walk into. But when it comes to the spiritual world and all that stuff, God's the only controller of that. And to see that change in a phone call from no to yes, this house is yours. It started like, man, this God thing it's absolutely real.
Right.
And to be able to throw the drugs and the alcohol away and lean on God for those things, it was just another, man, this God thing is real. And to watch the change, not just in my life, but change in other people's lives, man, this God thing is real.
Absolutely.
And to have that is so awesome. It feels so good to be forgiven and to be redeemed and to have that, man, it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. I'm sitting in an empty house, literally empty. There's a camping chair with my Niners hat on it and my TV the phone's leaned up on. But in the grand scheme of things, man, God's given me everything I need.
Right.
And in time, I'll get what I want. But right now, He's given me what I need. And man, it's a blessing.
Yeah, you have your house back.
It's a blessing. Dude, yeah, bro. I'm thankful every day. I shed a tear about it all the time. Like we talk about, music. Man, E40 was the stuff I love. Yeah. I love some E40, some Too Short.
Yeah.
The West Coast rap kind of thing. It was my stuff, man. But lately, it's been nothing but Forrest Frank and different guys that have that positive music because it's fed my soul in ways that I never thought would. Like, man, this nerd, like what am I thinking? This dork. Yeah. No, bro, this dude's awesome. Like, yeah. It's completely changed my whole countenance and how I walk and what I do and how I talk to people. Like Jamin, he has his shirts he wears all the time. Like I got my little, I'm going to get on Amazon and find me some Jesus shirts. This is cool. I'm going to get down with this. So I try to do those things. And man, it's amazing how the small little things start getting bigger and bigger and festering in a good way.
Right. So these are my Bible study shirts.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then on the back, it had, watch, let me see if I can show you the back.
Oh, that's cool. That's way cool.
We kind of took the name off the movie.
Have
you seen that movie? Have you seen it?
I think I have seen that movie.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, I just got my Netflix account hooked back up, so I've been kind of running through that, trying to find some cool stuff to watch.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah. Good movie. You have anything else for me?
No, man. I just it's a blessing what you do, brother. I'd like to pray if you don't mind.
Yeah, please.
It's something that I'm into. Dear Lord, I want to thank you for my brother Brandon, Lord. I pray that you would just use him as a vessel to reach people that need you, to preach your word, to show that there is some kind of life after what they've been going through, Lord. I pray that you bless his ministry, his outreach with the homeless, and everything he does, and use him and guide him in the way that you want it to be done, Lord. And I thank you for my brother. In your name, amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Heck yeah, bro.
Thank you for coming on and doing the episode.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. And we'll do like a follow-up too.
Yeah.
See how everything's going.
Hopefully I won't be sitting in a camping chair.
Hey, it's a camping chair, but it's your camping chair in your house.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
It's all yours. All right. We'll keep in touch, brother.
All right, brother. You have a good
All
day.
right. You too. Later. There you guys have it. There's Frank, story of redemption. Thanks be to God. If you're struggling with anything, you can always reach out to me on my socials. My TikTok is broken2redemption podcast. Drop me a message and I'll try to get you resources or try to get you help. Even if you just need somebody to talk to, we can go from there. Or you can hit my email at broken2redemption@gmail.com. And if you're interested in being on the podcast, please hit those socials as well. And just to clarify, it's broken, the number 2 redemption. I will be starting a season 2 reboot of people who've been to prison and county jails and how Jesus saved their life or how they just changed their life. If you're interested in being on that as well, go ahead and hit me up. I'm starting to make the list now. Until next time, guys, take care and God bless.